Thank you, Linda. We need to move on quickly, so it's a great pleasure to invite Steffen. He's the director of the Center of Medical Informatics and Telemedicine at the Faculty of Medicine in San Diego. He's a physicist and is the director of a medical faculty must be a challenge. So at this time when we're talking about big data and AI, we sometimes ignore the cultural challenges and the passive disciplines. I think that's something that we in Global Bioimaging will be a part of helping address. So thank you, Steffen.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you for sponsoring my trip and for organizing all that excellent meetings. I know how hard that is, but we almost did it. So I have already have a stack overflow in my mind. I received so much information. So I try to skip what has already been said and go to the points that I think is really essential to take home or to communicate. First of all, also, I want to say hello in the name of Veronika Eisner. She's from the Catholic University and she wanted to be here but couldn't, but we will be organizing when I coming back in the sense and the spirit that I received so far from these events. So we have a debt in Chile because we haven't yet organized in a national scientific community for imaging science. We know we have to do that. We meet all the time. We communicate. We said we should really do that, but we didn't have the time so far. No, there was no urgency, but we really have to do that. So this is my apology. The last 3 years have really been critical. Yeah, I was really happy about the discussion that was giving before lunch, no, because this is more or less what I thought and as an entry for that. Something is missing in the story, I think. And I feel that when we explain the stories to the politician and to the people that give the money, I think we are explaining too much. We say, okay, this is important, no, for the impact on the sustainable sustainability goals, and we have good reasons, and we are profiling that very well, but it's like explaining. It's not having like a dream in front of what we want to do. No, and I felt that sort of the comments were in that direction, and that's what I share. I don't see the glue in the eyes of the politicians when I manage that. No, and if they don't finance a microscope, okay, some researchers cry. No, but I want to have some arguments that the story touches, no, is touching, and that is still hard to get. So we tried to push that more to digital health, because health or well-being for the people, for the humans, is sometimes more explicable, can be explained better, and that helps sometimes to have a closer contact, you know, to the people who have to understand finally that they're investing in something good. No? And Chile, as some of you know, is looking for a new constitution, and that has also to do with how I identify myself, how I explain myself. And there's a nice example from Ecuador. I think it was 2006 or something, when they have a new constitution, and they came back to a philosophy of life from the ancient people. No, and that's a symbol that I show, no, from Sumak Kaswai, that is good life. And this is like a nice idea, no, to have a good life, no. And sustainable goals is like, I have to survive, no. But let's try to survive in a good life, no. And this symbol is not trivial, no. It's easily painted, it's beautiful, but it's highly complex, no. And when we talk about digital and how that digital impact and imaging, and when we think of artificial intelligence and imaging and all the information and good advice that come, or bad advice that comes out of the images, no, and how that reflects the local habits and our physiology, you know, physiognomy, I think there's a story, no. And it's also a story that the competencies and the roles and all our dealing that has to do with that new avalanche of information and good or bad advice cannot be trivial, no? So we sort of try to see our role to fix or understand the competencies and to organize, yeah, in these circular symbols that we do and that have I seen all over again, no? And sort of it's our planet in the center, no? So I keep thinking about that. Okay, now back to data. Last time I presented Chile in an audience here with Global Euro Imaging. We counted like 40 microscopes that were financed since 2010 by Fondekeep projects, and I put the link here. Chile has now 45 microscopes that were financed in the last 10 years and 45 advanced microscope, from confocal microscope upwards, is already a pretty nice number, for a country. In 2006, when I started at the medical faculty in the University of Chile, we had one microscope, and that was basically broken most of the time. So we are in a good microscopic position now. And I talk from the perspective of the University of Chile, of Redeca. You have seen probably the poster that Jorge Toledo presented. From the microscopic side, I think we are very well equipped. And nowadays we can even put, there's financing to put very good microscope in the southern part of Chile, and Patagonia. And this is also makes a huge difference in how we imaging. We have seen underwater imaging, how we are imaging the micro world of that remote region. And that has to be considered if we want a good living. And I don't have to explain that. That is easy. Everybody understands that. But in Santiago, if you do the same, zoom in here, we still have 30. So there's still a huge disbalance. So we try to do from our laboratory, up from the laboratory to centers, to institutions, to institutes and networks, all the best for our work and all the best for the surrounding centers that have been organized to do the best possible job. So we are highly connected. And they also played the card more from the digital health side. Okay, digital health was easily explainable in the last years. And the funding that is lost in a hospital for an information system that is not used is huge. So many people cry and politicians get a problem. They don't get a problem when one microscope is broken or is not financed normally. So we do basic science. We do a lot of courses. We do a lot of courses here for many years already with our Uruguayan friends and other friends from Latin America. So we have been thinking LATAM for a long time and pushing that. But besides of doing basic science and all the training that I don't want to repeat, we are also thinking for a lot of time already in the innovation part, and also, and I put here down the make health concept really to put an impact on health. And that is a regional challenge, not only because of COVID, but COVID had evidence that even more. So there's a good communication that can be done. And imaging, as I said, is always a part. The other part that you see down here is our friendship with astronomy. That is also very easily explainable. And when we look at microscopic images and we say, oh, that is beautiful. And many people said, oh, I fell in love, and that happens. And to fall in love is already good, with the beauty. But when you show people pictures from astronomy, you can start to cry. There's another dimension to it. So the change between the perspective of going out and going in is also a nice story. And we have many, many common problems. So we solve them in common workshops. So we take astronomy pictures, biology pictures, other data sets, and just make sense. Sense for a better living. Okay, this is the most sophisticated microscope that we have in the medical faculty. This is an open microscope, a light sheet microscope with 4 objectives. That was designed by Jan Huisken, and then Ulrich Kubitschek from the University of Bonn helped us to install that first of all in Bonn. We brought that to Chile. We sent students, say, doing the PhD there, and everything that we heard about shadowing and exchanging people and going and coming back was done. So this is our most complicated microscope, and this is also pretty hard to maintain, because something breaks, you need a new part. Where do you get that? That is not existing, so you have to organize a lot. And that's really a pain, but yeah, you have to live it in order to have such a complex structure offered to the students for training and to do the nice pictures and everything around. So here I summarize already what is done, about optical microscopy to have space for data. So in microscopy, I think we are pretty well equipped. We need to have more maintenance and have more flexibility, the expertise, and all that what was already summarized here. We have connectivity that is maybe interesting. I saw these great projects from Africa also, so I'm happy that the South America will connect to Africa also with the Bella high-speed network. In Latin America, we have Clara, and in Chile, we have Reuna. No? And so we're connecting, and I guess that is good. So what we are very happy about is our data center. No, we started early with light sheet microscopy. With I already have to speed up, so I will be really fast. I will skip a lot of things. So we concentrate on a new data center. We jumped now from 250 to 600 terabyte. No, we have servers, and we also have money for a system for biobanking, for scientific repositories. No, so this is excellent. I will skip that. Yeah, and this is just, we need more fair. No, we need to organize the data. This is very heterogeneous, and we cannot be so fast in getting a good service to all the demands from the different contexts. No, yeah, from bioimaging, we went to medical imaging because of COVID, and there was a necessity. So we did pathology, digital pathology, and X-ray and CT tomography, and we support the physicians with the quantitative data, no, in 2D, in 3D, and they are really happy. But to keep that really into practice, things become complicated, no, because you have to dichomize, you have to argue with ACFA, for instance, because these things have to be inserted in the normal clinical work process. No, so although the artificial intelligence is really putting nice quantification, additional information to the physicians, and they appreciate that, to insert that in the daily workflow is not easy. No, so they are the vendors, there's the industry in between that has to be convinced. No, but at least we have the whole story running from the sources to how we manage the data. We are with FHIR because there's not only imaging data, but also patient data. So in the middle side, I think we are pretty robust and pretty interoperable and respect the standards. The international standards, we also anonymize and pseudo-anonymize, so that's good. And we have a lot of use cases already on the other side for the users. So I think I just speed up. We are over time, so I will jump over my beloved project with Paula Scavone with microbiology and what we do with quantifying bacteria growth. Yeah, and put the last slides on education, I guess. No? The projects, what we are running now for a few years is a collaborative medical informatics program with the University of Heidelberg. This is accredited. We have like 15 to 20 students in one cohort, 30 courses, and I put a red spot on the courses that are very close to imaging and data. No? So we use that matrix to have our imaging courses, and this is, of course, imaging hardware and also software and managing data from health information system, not to combine that. Yeah, and that was already running, and we have quite a big number for us. That is like 40 that have emerged from this project, but that's a small number for a country. No, we have like 30 services, health services along the country for health. No. And 40 people is like one for each service, no, and that is not too much. But anyway, we grow, no, and the last network what I want to show is a network of the state universities what we have formed this year. We have combined between 13 state universities in Chile from the northern part to the southern part. That has never been done before, no. So we're working on digital health and what is happening with digital data in common. No, to work on common courses, on common competencies, and to share expertise. No? And this is a team here below. Some people said, there are women missing maybe, but the woman here is the boss. No? So she's leading that team, and yeah, that we have finance for 3 years at least. So this is new, and this can be engaged in whatever comes out now in our training ideas. Yeah, and then I close. These are my most happy events these years also, because these were like connectatons and datatons that were done with the industry above and only with the ministries of health below, because ministries worked on connectatons to connect health data to contribute to the vaccination path. No, and Uruguay has achieved that very early, and we get that in the picture down there in Santiago, beginning of this year. and made that connectathon where the states demonstrate that they can really interoperate. No? And the people that supported here in Chile, and we did another event, well, we did, Colombia did in Colombia, were always supported by the people that we train in the master. No? So there we have a good communication actually with the governments. I see that what we do is important and connections start. Yeah, and I see that here something like this is also happening. So this is my final message with all the round structures sort of to summarize what we dream and what we want to do and what tasks we have to fulfill in order to live a happy life. Yeah, and we are aware of what we have to do. We're not perfect, and we have to grow up a little bit and get some more teeth to be happy, smiling people. So thank you very much.